Hey guys, a cozy afternoon in the studio. It's raining outside, and we got Sumit, Soumyajit, and Arka. So they are having their release, Virtual Lives, which is on 8 July, I think, right?
Yes.
At someplace else. We will come to that later, and we will describe the context of that release also. But let me start with Sumit. You've been the founder member along with Soumyajit. So what was the first thing that struck when you fashioned the name Easy Rider? You know, there is a reference to the 69 movie and also...
That was my question as well. Is it inspired by the 1969 movie?
Actually, it was inspired by the Hendrix song.
Okay.
But yeah, we took the spelling of the movie.
Yeah.
And then when I sort of finally ended up watching the movie, I thought I shouldn't have named the band Easy Riders, but then it was too late.
Too late. Yes. And then when you started, you guys have been doing music for the last 25 years, 30 years, right?
Yeah, something like that.
And Easy Rider did massive performances in 1998 in IIT Spring Fest. So if you just describe the early journey and to the sound where you are, like you have defined a kind of sound as a jam band, Arka.
I think Sumit and Gumbal can talk about the beginnings better.
Yeah.
I think our story is very similar to most rock bands in India, like
Yeah.
sort of.
In
Played
1994,
in 90 at that time,
At that
90s,
at that time.
97, 98, when India was just beginning to sort
Open
of
up.
open up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So our story was very similar. Like we had lots of college competitions going on. So
Zamotshav and all
yeah,
that, yeah.
all the colleges
colleges,
had,
yeah.
you know, from IIT to DMET
Yes.
to St. Xavier's. So a lot of competitions, a lot of bands. So we were playing everywhere. So we won a few, lost a few. Then we sort of tried like we opened for bands like Parikrama and stuff like that at IIM and all that. And then then you hit a plateau and there's nowhere else to go, you know. And then we sort of split up because you know it was the end of the road for us. But
Yeah.
we kept doing music in our individual capacities, and like we've been in different cities. Arka has been in Pune.
Yeah.
He's been in Kolkata for a long time. Soumyajit has been in Delhi. I have been in Delhi for 4 years, Bombay for 11 years. So then I came back to Calcutta in 2015 when my father was ill. So then we sort of last year, it just by chance we got together again and started it. Like we've been very lucky. That's all we'll say.
So it has been said that there has been a consistent performance from Easy Rider to listeners who are serious listeners of music to come to a stage where you can say you are a jam band.
Well, thank you for saying that. What can I say? You know,
And the signature music. I mean, when did you realize that this is the time that we have defined the sound, and more what we can do is refinement of the sound? When was that?
I think it was from the very beginning.
Yeah,
because we knew we couldn't play like the others. Actually, it was,
We never wanted to emulate others. Very honestly.
because we wanted to play our own way. Even when we were doing covers, it was like
Our
we
own
don't
way
want
of
to do a
own
cover like a
interpretation.
cover.
Cover,
You know,
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
we want to do it our way.
Oh, your way.
We were too young and we were full of attitude, but yeah, that was the
Yeah, you were playing very well at
that
that
was
point
the
of time.
thank you again for saying that. But that was the sort of stance we took.
Yeah.
And that's how I think people sort of it stuck out, you know.
Yeah.
That's how you remember us,
Yeah.
because even though we haven't met for like 20,
Yeah.
25 years.
Yeah.
So that's a blessing. That's
Yeah. And what has been the different influences in this entire journey of Easy Riders? What are the different bands and what are the different parts that you have taken up and which you have amalgamated, blended with the
I think
music?
all of us have very varied influences.
Yeah.
Varied influences.
Very,
Yeah.
very varied.
Very
Very varied.
What about you?
influences.
Yeah, true.
I think the jam band part of it is it's partially there. So we've obviously listened to all the 60s psychedelia bands that can be from The Dead to Traffic to Santana, all of that. But I think there's a very I would say eclectic situation where we listen to a lot of jazz fusion, we listen to I listen to a lot of modern music. Even in the 90s, I was listening to 90s music. I think Boomba also did. Sumit used to listen to hardcore jazz pretty much, even back in the day. So I think all of that, in my case, yeah, I mean, from the jam bands like Phish and The Dead and Dave Matthews, definitely it sort of went on to more modern territory, and so I started also listening to electronica based music. Sumit introduced me to a lot of music like Ozrik and Spangle and all of that. Chegulo pore korechi. But yeah, I mean, it's like a varied thing, and of course there has been percussion heavy influences. So, yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, my music influences. I was very lucky to have. I mean, the band actually was founded by Sumit, myself. There was another guy called Abir Vortuloi and Gautam Rasta.
Yeah.
We need to mention these guys.
That was the first lineup.
Setup. Yeah, that was the first lineup, and my musical influence was like a lot of Steely Dan, a lot of Grateful Dead. Bootlegs, because Abir influenced me to a lot of folk music, Simon Garfunkel and stuff like that. In fact, me, Abir, myself, we went for this fest and we performed Teachers ZSNY. Yeah, so that was my upbringing. So that was the plate I was. I got served a plate of music, which was this. And then obviously with these guys coming in and putting their music across, it was influence of like Mahavishnu Orchestra and stuff like that. I think Sumit introduced me to Mahavishnu Orchestra along with a lot of other things. Right. So
yeah, we all introduced each other to music, like it used to happen, before the days of internet.
When you would sit down and listen to music, as
have
just
you heard
friends.
this? Have you heard this?
I remember Orko doing the bootleg for the Blues for Allah, writing it down.
So we also need to mention that particular song.
Rhythm and Blues in Gold Park. It was a big thing back in the day, because we were just bootlegging before we even knew that a term like bootlegging existed. We were just copying tapes and giving it out, and so sometimes people would ask for mixes, and that would be a thing. So So I think it's interesting to sort of mention that in the current avatar right now, as you see the three of us, I think the trio bands have also played a huge influence in our lives. So for me, it's been the Police. I think for Sumit, it's the Hendrix trio, and for Boomba, I don't know, maybe it's Rush or something like that. It is this three member situation. It's not something we chose to do this time, but that is how we've sort of landed up doing. This is the core band. The three of us have been doing this together since 1997. So that's
also I would like you, if you can also say what do you guys contribute, like who's the vocalist, who's the bassist.
So the primary songwriter and the vocalist and composer, everything that we band leader, so whatever you say is
Big Daddy of the band.
Big Daddy of the band is Sumit. Boomba plays bass.
I play the bass.
I play drums. And we all sort of kind of sing. Boomba also sings. Boomba sings lead vocals.
And we've had another guitar player play with us, Rohan Ganguly. In Delhi, and he's playing with the band. He's right now caught up with some
other work,
so he can't make it. And there's Shubjo Bhattacharjee, who is filling in for Rohan.
Okay.
But this is the core band, and we take.
So let's come to. I think there's a lot of discussion with Easy Rider in the media. It's like the music that you picked up is something like a rambling man. It's just different influences along on the journey, and it's like getting to the core of Easy Rider's sound. It's like peeling an onion, and different flavors come up, and then you get to the point, and then you go back to the circumference. So how is it difficult because you have one bass and you play the rhythm and lead as well at the same point in time, and he plays the percussion. So as a trio band, I think how did it
a trio gives you a lot of
freedom,
flexibility.
You're free. The sky is yours. Then you can fly. In fact, the more members you have, the less you have to play. And the more you have to listen about, because the others are playing. Especially in a jam band context where it's not set, it's based on improvisation. So you have to feed off the others' energy. Because I was at home playing with a computer for like 10 years, and I was like fed up of it. I didn't want anything to do with it. So it's a blessing to have people, contributing, because that's how music happens.
So I just wanted to mention some of the best performances which they did, and Transmigrational SD Blues, which is I think very staple, which they have done. It's very famous. And Mr. Mountain, I think Choice Mr. Mountain, all are written by you. And
The Choice is written by Soumyajit.
Choice is
is
written by
Soumyajit's
Shoma.
song.
Okay.
Boom.
And yeah. And I don't know.
I don't
What
know.
I don't know. What I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's that
Yeah.
I wrote.
Yeah. So that has a specific arrangement in percussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a reggae
That's-
song. I mean,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
another.
It's still
big-
evolving.
Yeah, it's still evolving. Yeah.
So all our songs, I need to mention this. All our songs are evolving on
Yeah.
a regular basis.
Yeah.
So we do not play. It's not that we don't know the songs, but we choose
the
not to play the same song,
way.
same
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
That's a good.
So for the Someplace Else gig, we are playing a totally different set list. Like
Yeah.
from the last time we played in Someplace Else, which is
Yeah.
just another gig, but
Yeah.
not one song is being repeated.
Yeah.
So we've always kind of been like that, you know.
Yeah.
Even back in the day when we were playing, there were bands that were playing original music that were had a more structured thing, but we really never always stuck to structure.
Yeah.
It was a bit boring.
So even if we play a particular song on one particular gig, the next gig you'll find a different element coming.
Yeah.
Maybe a jam is a little bit longer,
Yeah.
and because it all depends upon the energy,
Yeah.
as Sumit
Of the night.
mentioned, right? Of the night, and
Yeah.
we tend to feed each other. When I mean feed off
The
that
energy of
particular
each
energy.
other.
Yeah.
Totally,
Energy.
totally.
Yes. And what do you have to say about the audience? I mean, what sort of audience do you expect come in? And you have a pretty good response of people who come.
we are happy as long as there is an audience,
Yes,
bro.
yes,
Like,
yes.
you know,
we are grateful. Yeah.
I mean, we
anybody
have
listens, we are grateful.
Fantastic.
As simple as
we
that.
have played as Easy Riders. I think we have played to places where there were like 15 people in a Lake Club regatta or 20 people, and we've gone and played the IIT gigs also, and
Yeah.
we were lucky that in Depot in Delhi it was like a full house.
Full
like,
house,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it totally is. I mean, if you talk about the sort of, are you talking about the age group of the
Yeah,
audience?
yeah, I'm talking about.
I'm not really sure about that, whether that should be, there should be any restriction on that.
Yeah.
I mean, our music, if it reaches people, we are very happy.
We are very happy.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So I must mention this song called "Lonely Well," which is I think a very important song for them. And I've just got the lyrics. If you can just read out the lyrics, this part only, which I think.
He swam for miles that seemed like lives through the waters of the world, but he could not find another soul, and the sunlight turned to gold. And he swam alone, clinging on to memory, and he swam away, his whistles fading in history.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
So how did this song evolve, and how did you start from the scratch board? How did you?
It evolved
was-
from an EBO. You know
Okay,
what an
yeah,
EBO
yeah,
is?
yeah,
So, if you do not know, an EBO is a device like you put a light on your string and it vibrates
Yes.
infinitely.
Yes.
So you get that infinite sustained kind of thing. So just got an EBO and I was playing around with it and I thought it sounded like whale sounds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the idea came from. So then I thought I might as well write about a whale. Then I recorded a line on the EBO and I was trying to fit something over that, and that's how it worked.
Yeah. Beautiful.
But the genesis was that
yeah,
whale
that is
sound
the
of
whale
the
sound.
EBO.
Yeah, that's great. You want to ask something before we?
Like because you guys said that you're heavily influenced by the 60s psychedelic. So like if you can say what were your favorite musics that you like, you can even tell the younger generation because now everything is available on YouTube. And that point of time, like people had to copy bootlegs and stuff like that. Now everyone can go and listen. So
What's the
can you
message
just-
for the younger generation?
Yes,
From
please
one
suggest
of the
some
best
good
bands
music
of Easy Rider.
so that people can go and hear.
Yeah,
Listen to anything by Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Jimi
Grateful
Hendrix,
Dead.
Jeff Beck. Even now,
Phish.
Tedeschi Trucks band,
Yeah.
I
Yes, amazing.
love them.
Yeah,
I mean,
amazing,
I
yeah.
think they're the best band
Yeah.
in the world right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
In fact, my friend Shubhayu, he just called me from Atlanta yesterday that he had gone to see Tedeschi Trucks band, and he said he was so blown away, and he went yesterday again. So they're playing 2 nights, so he's going
Yeah.
2 nights. So I think they're a superb band, and they're pushing the boundaries of what rock music can do. I think there are a lot of good bands actually.
Yeah.
Actually, that now I think the danger now is there's an overload of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You
And
have
then
too
you tend to
much.
sort of shut off.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like might as well go back to what I know.
Yeah,
That kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah. Yeah.
But
No, I think in terms of the songwriting situation, you should be, if you are if you're into you're writing songs,
Yeah.
you should be listening to the Beatles. Like that's like
For sure.
the
Yeah,
Bible
for sure.
as such.
Beatles,
And then
yes, and why?
You do the usual. You know, you listen to Zeppelin, you listen to the Who, you listen to
Jethro Tull.
Tull,
Of course.
you listen to the jam. If you're into the jam band kind of stuff, then you listen to the Dead and
The Phish.
and Allman Brothers band,
The Allman
and
Brothers,
all
yeah.
of that. I'm just saying 60s, 70s.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
it. And you know, I think you should just
Keep
the ears open. You should
Yeah.
listen to. We listen to everything. We listen to
Everything.
Indian classical music
Yeah.
as much as we listen to rock and roll music, you know, and
Yeah.
jazz and instrumental music as much as we listen to songs with vocals in them. So Jeff Beck is a huge influence on all of us.
Yeah.
So
Sadly, he passed away.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's
David
just about
David Crosby also this year.
Yeah.
yeah.
In
It's-
fact, by the way, David Crosby liked Whale. the
Yeah.
song.
Wow.
Yeah,
You
I-
just mentioned this.
I
Yeah.
tweeted to him
Yeah.
Yeah.
saying I'm a fan of your music and
That's a
we'd
great
be
news.
grateful if you could
Beautiful.
listen.
Wow.
And he said, nice song, nice playing and singing. 7, isn't it? Because the count
beat,
is in
the count
the-
is
is in the 7th
Seven,
count.
seven.
So he said 7, isn't it? Nice playing and singing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
yeah.
So before we wrap up, we mentioned again, Some Plus Else. It starts at 9 o'clock.
Yes.
8th of July.
Yeah.
And
Please be
Virtual
there.
Lives.
Be there.
Please be there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
support the band. And they're one
Support
of the best.
original music.
Yes, original music. And they're one of the best bands around. Anything new? Any surprises on that day? You gonna Virtual Lives? Just explain Virtual Lives.
Well, actually, we did a virtual gig, which was a ticketed concert,
Yeah.
which was live streamed across the world.
Yeah.
So we recorded the concert. So 3 songs from those we are releasing as an EP.
On 1st of July.
On 1st of July, it
July.
will be available everywhere, Spotify,
Spotify
iTunes,
and
blah, blah,
others.
blah. But 8th July, we are doing the gig. So
Yeah.
that's
That's
So I'll put that in the description box, so you
Yes.
can check all the details. And bye from the band now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
so
much.
much. Yeah.
Cheers.